Hello and welcome. It is the third day of April 2017. Let's take a look at silver in Canadian dollars, a 16-day chart, which means each one of these periods represents 16 trading days. That is 3 weeks plus a day. And it basically spans about a decade, and the Fibonacci retracement being used is from the 2008 lows up to the highs in 2011. And when we look at this, how well do we think Fibonacci retracement has been doing? That is taking the formula high divided by low, and in this situation about 4 and change, to the power of, well, these numbers in here, multiply the low again of 10.8. That's how I'm calculating it. And interestingly, how these numbers have played through. We can see the first one, multiple support tests, but along the way, lower highs on each occasion. So when you see that pattern, then it's no surprise that it failed within this point in here. In fact, this one here, maybe you can be a little surprised that test 3 succeeded, but test 4 of support failed. And to me, successful is if you have a decent bounce from it, or do what it's supposed to do, stay going sideways like this. So past support test, past support, it passes, it fails. And then easily passing support. And here, interesting how this goes decently below it, because as easy as it may sound that the Fibonacci game is playing to put buy and sell orders accordingly, oh, it'll do really well for you, but at times it won't. For if you put a buy order in at, say, 1901 Canadian, oh man, you hit the bottom, congratulations. And then you put your sell order in at 26.95, and it was, well, it would have hit here. It would have taken a few years, but you would have gotten it hit. Support again at this key level, and meanwhile the entire time it's in this sideways duration between 19 and 27 Canadian is neutral. So it's basically been neutral for 4 consecutive years. Nothing more to speak of. It had a slight break below here, but it didn't really constitute much of a fast move. I mean, I suppose this is about as small of a move as I'm going to count, but it comes up to this point. But we can now even see that after a long sideways consolidation period, we're getting a semi-long, but not quite as long period of supporting that long resistance theory phase. Of course, within the band, it's declining in here. Step 1, flatten out. There's the flattening out phase. Normally, I'd like to see it happen for about 2 or 3 periods, and maybe sometimes for about 15 or so, which is this one. And then establish resistance. That's pretty much a perfect level. It is perfect, actually, because it's decently above, not too high, and right at Fibonacci. So that's perfect resistance. Come back to the support. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 periods supporting this thus far. And it's been within this band for quite some time now. So the upper end of this area is where we are now, 24 and change, close to 25. And then down to about 22. So about 22 to 26 is short-term neutrality. 19 to 26 is long-term neutrality. Any break above this level, price target to the upside is 33.46. And then on the downside, I haven't calculated it, but you'd be looking at about 13 or 14 as its next target downwards. And that's pretty much how the chart is playing out. Now, as far as support, as far as near term, normally, the more times you test a level, the more likely it is to take it out, thus less of a profitable buying opportunity. Great buying spot here. Good here, not as good, and they both win. Yeah, this one's not so great, but it won still. It went up. And this one's not so great either, and it lost. So here, great buying opportunity. It won. If you, I mean, I mean, obviously, if you have a sell target here and it fails, I mean, you could easily get out here if you wish. But here, decent buying opportunity. It wins. And I normally wouldn't want to play the third test, not me. However, in a situation, if you have a very good push like this, and it happens to fail, as much as I believe in the failed move, fast move down, I still think that if any chart were to go to this point here, I think it's a decent bet to go from here to here. And that's just my view on it, but it's part of the betting mechanisms. Other things is if you bet to sell here, I'm going to be looking to buy back probably here. If I sell at this point in here, I'm going to be aggressively looking to buy back in here. So that's part of how I look at the Fibonacci retracement for just any chart mainly. Thank you for tuning in. Take care.